Hello and welcome to Farmer's Kitchen. Hello, Mrs. Farmer.
Mr. Farmer, how are you?
Are you excited about tonight?
Those are beautiful.
Aren't they beautiful?
They're beautiful.
You know what? We have to have a disclaimer anytime we do a mushroom segment because we're responsible for our health and well-being.
That's right.
If we decide to go out in the field and pick something and we come back and wake up dead, it's on us.
See, I would never, I can't decide it. I make sure you do it.
There's a lot of years being around old timers.
Right.
I'm not going to go into all the details, but these are chicken of the woods. If you know your mushrooms, feel free to go out and gather some. It's that time of year. We were very fortunate to find this the other day. We went on a short walk, hoping to find some mushrooms. And man, did we see mushrooms.
You were very excited.
Most of the mushrooms we saw were not edible.
Right.
But the rain and the low heat and everything, the humidity was just perfect apparently because we had stuff come up that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Now, we also have a couple lobster. Now, the top is dirty, you can't tell much, but this is a lobster mushroom. You see there are no gills here. They're kind of tough. This is one that I knocked the top off with a mower. I got right out in the open where normally you don't see anything, and the lobsters were right out in the open. And I shaved the top of them off before I knew what was going on. Yeah, I know. But anyway, I have identified these. I've already eaten about, what, a pound and a half?
Yes, you have with eggs. You had a breakfast.
No kidding. There was probably 10 to 12, 15 pounds of this on the woods. We just took what we wanted. I'm going to leave the rest out to go back to Spore, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I found, today squirrel hunting, some back that we'd already missed and it was too late.
Oh, that's good, though, for next year.
Next year, let's hope. But I have never found any. The 15 years that we've been on this farm, this is the first year that these have popped up, and man, did they pop up.
And they're so pretty. They call them chicken because they look like the feathers? Or the, that white?
Imagine a hen's tail.
It does look like
Let's break off this one portion. Look at there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
There's a chicken tail. So these are absolutely delicious. Lots of protein, lots of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. They're healthy. They are delicious. Now, some small number of people are allergic to them. The reactions are usually not severe, but you want to cook them. You don't want to eat them raw. But enough about that.
That's right.
We were going to go get some squirrels, but it was really hot. They weren't stirring. And then I started thinking, deer season's right around the corner, archery season. We need to start cleaning the freezer out. And you said...
We got a rabbit in the freezer.
I thought, perfect, perfect. As usual.
Yes.
Your intelligence shines through the world.
I always come through, don't I?
You always do. So what we're going to do tonight is make a wonderful recipe with a rabbit. This is from our buddy, John Casper. And we've got our mushrooms. And our pasta maker is still set up, so why not use that?
You love pasta. You're having fun making pasta.
I'm having so much fun. Now we're going to use our pressure cooker tonight. These are some of the new, more quick cooking pressure cookers. Pressure cookers have been around for a long time, not just for canning, but the old time, even the jigglers that Mom had. This is the newer version of that. This rabbit, which is probably 3.5 pounds, I'm going to say 25 to 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rabbit, I'm going to leave the livers in it. I want all that taste to come out. I'm going to take some of our chicken broth that we always save. I'm also going to take some salt, pepper, some rosemary, most important, thyme, and a little bit of oregano.
From our spice rack.
Garni. We're going to take onions, carrots, and celery. With that, we're going to take our consommé, which is just basically a meat, well-flavored meat sauce. I think is the technical term for that. And we're going to use that in the recipe.
I can't wait.
It's going to be good. So what we're going to make is basically a Stroganoff type recipe.
Yummy.
Now we're going to measure this out. We're going to use just one medium-sized onion. This is a yellow sweet onion. Now you might wonder about storing these. We couldn't cook the day that we shot this video out in the woods. We couldn't cook them, so we put them in the refrigerator. You don't want to rinse them off. You don't want to put water on it. Just cover them, seal them, and they'll last a couple days. You don't want to put water on them because it'll make them mushy. You do want to get the bugs off, unless you like bugs. It's up to you. Got my 2 cups of chicken stock in there. I'm going to take my onions, drop in here.
You just want pieces like this, right?
Yeah, even bigger.
All right. You want some carrots? So like pieces like this?
A little bit bigger.
Like that?
Yep. Ready for the rabbit? All right, I put my herbs in there. Now I'm going to come back with my salt and pepper. And this is freshly ground pepper. that we love so much. And if you'd like, just for a little extra taste, you could put a little poultry seasoning in there. Wouldn't hurt a thing in the world. Why are you smiling?
I'm so happy.
Because you smell that.
I do. It smells really good.
This is going to be really good. You know what? As you watch our show, you will see kind of repetitive themes. If we got something set up, we'll use it again.
You like your pasta, don't you?
I like my pasta.
If it's homemade, it's better for you, right?
So remember, a couple weeks ago, we made some pasta, and we made like a little dumpling,
Oh, that's so
which
good.
ended up being like an Italian pasta. Tonight we're going to make our own noodles, homemade noodles. You can't beat them.
No.
We're going to make some fettuccine, linguine.
I got a little water here you can add for me if you'd like.
Now again, that's 1.5 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, 2 eggs,
So
and
simple.
a little dab of water. Then she's going to drop this into the refrigerator, let it set for, I don't know, 20 minutes to half an hour. Get back out and run it through a little machine right here, which we never took down for good reason. Huh?
That's right.
Then we're going to get back to our mushrooms here in a minute.
It's good.
All right.
Put that in the fridge.
Let's pop that in the fridge. All right, so let's talk about this mushroom, Mrs. Farmer.
Okay.
You know, you look at this, it's just beautiful. High in potassium, vitamin A,
Right.
vitamin C, and in 2 cups, there's about 21 grams of protein.
Wow.
A lot of people substitute this for chicken dishes. They think it tastes exactly like chicken, and some people deep fry them, and they do.
Oh, that'd be
you know, if you
good.
flavor them like chicken, they're delicious. Now, I had some of this with breakfast the other day.
You did.
I had a lot of
You
it
sure
with
did.
breakfast, probably like a pound. And so I'm going to take some of this, and I think what we'll do, I think probably you could get away with 3 or 4 days in the refrigerator, but not much more than that. The consistency is so cool on this stuff. I'm just going to cut these into pieces that I can saute. And Ms. Farmer, if
Go ahead,
you
we're
will,
coming.
cut me up an onion there for the next phase of this recipe.
I got a shallot here too.
Yep, and these will shrink up, remember that. Now, most of the time when I find these, I find them next to a tree. In this case, found them next to an oak tree. These are beautiful and wonderful. You know what, Mrs. Farmer? I think that will do.
Think that's enough?
All right, look at what we've got here, Mrs. Farmer. Is it making you hungry?
I'm starving.
Look how beautiful this is.
That is
now,
pretty.
this is what? How many days in the refrigerator? 2?
2 so far.
2 days in the refrigerator. What's out in the woods is almost gone.
Right.
What's here is still very viable. We don't eat a whole lot of pasta, but sometimes we get on a kick.
Yeah, we're on one
And
of
this
those.
just sounded good with everything we had together. I want to check to make sure that's falling off the bone, which it is.
Oh, that smells so good.
Now, rabbit can be a little tough. So that's, did you see where the
Yeah.
top portion almost came off? That's how you know it's
yummy.
really well done. There's where the magic is.
Smells good.
That's where the magic is, and that's what we're going to need here in a minute. But the first thing we're going to do, Mrs. Farmer, is take some butter.
Like butter?
We're going to saute our onions and shallots, and when they get close, then we're going to drop the mushrooms. And then it all comes together pretty quickly after. You know what? We probably need to start some water boiling too here in a second.
Maybe.
So if you will, let's drop about most of the shallots and about half of those onions in
All right.
there.
Some onions?
Onions. Turn that down just a hair.
Just about half of them, you said?
Yes. I'm still amazed at the beauty of that mushroom there. I'm going to keep those moving around, Mrs. Farmer.
Sure will.
Now again, from what we see here to the woods,
Yeah.
in fact, let's go back to the other day when we got out and I was so excited and we took the phone,
Took pictures of
the little
you.
camera on there.
Yes.
Here's a little video we did as we were picking this. So I was mowing the yard and I saw mushrooms everywhere. I saw some lobster mushrooms over here, which we found last year, Nikki, you remember? Today, I just take a quick drive up into the woods and what do I find? One of my favorites, chicken of the woods. Now look, it's the base of an oak tree. That's pretty common. I see some here, 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 and on the other side. So what's gonna be my breakfast today? Eggs and chicken of the woods. But that is my favorite. Beautiful, wonderful. We're gonna ladle out a cup and a half of our wonderful stock here. Oh man, there's our cup and a half. Okay,
right.
Let's drop
Want those in?
about half of those, maybe a little bit more. And these are gonna shrink up.
Then we need them all. No? I love
I don't
them.
think we'll need them all because we still
Okay.
gotta have some. That'll probably do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn that over to you.
Ready?
I'm gonna put a little bit more butter in there. All right, the next step will be to add our liquids. I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup white wine in here. I'm gonna put
Oh, wow.
our wonderful liquids in here and a little bit of Worcestershire. Worcester.
Salting it up a little.
Somebody online from the UK said Worcester.
That tastes good.
A little salt,
Well, it's so yum. I did a sneak test.
a little pepper. Oh, we still got a
yum.
long way to go. We still got a lot.
Juice is delicious.
Isn't it though? Now we're gonna reduce that down. Got our water boiling. Now, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. We got good hot water, so it won't take long to get that boiling. I'm gonna slide this right over here, and I'm gonna get a little roux going over here. So what we wanna do now over here is melt some butter. Got a couple tablespoons of butter there. I'm gonna come back with about 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm gonna make me a roux. Now that is gonna thicken our wonderful sauce over here.
And I'm gonna go ahead and pick this clean for you. How's that? So we get it off?
Perfect.
Whatever we have left?
Okay, Mrs. Farmer,
Yes?
if you would like, I believe that's sufficiently reduced down enough to where you can put that in here.
All right.
Beautiful. Now look how that thickens that up. I'm gonna drop my rabbit meat. Whoa.
So delicious.
So we have a double protein here. I'm gonna come back with my sour cream. That's about a 1/2 cup. You can do more or less. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, Ms. Farmer, if you'll drain those noodles.
I'll do it. Looks super.
Like fresh pasta.
Oh my God, can I try?
Yep. Are you excited?
I am very excited. Oh, that's
Almost
a
looks
mushroom.
like a seafood with that.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Wow.
You got your rabbit, you got your mushroom.
You didn't let me eat all day. It was worth the wait. I was starving.
Now the consistency of those mushrooms is very similar to chicken, is it not? I mean, if you picked a piece of this up and you didn't know, therefore, chicken of the woods.
Oh, yeah.
That's just absolutely fantastic.
Wow. Wow. Your sauce is really good.
You know what? This is so good I can't hardly stand it.
I know.
Now we have not eaten much all day. So in a minute it's going to get ugly because we're going to shut the cameras down
And have some.
and go plowing into this. The mushroom flavor, when that rabbit cooked down over here into those juices, that's extraordinary.
Your sauce is amazing.
And that will save
I'm going to
for
freeze
future
that. I'm going to
recipes.
freeze that.
You know, this right here is maybe one of my favorite dishes
so
we've
good.
ever done. And you know, you think as you cook, you know kind of how it's going to taste.
Right.
You start adding herbs and spices.
Turned
and
out better,
everything.
didn't it?
Oh, it's just absolutely wonderful. What a way to utilize these mushrooms. Be careful again. Disclaimer here, you identify yours, I'll identify mine.
Right.
But that is a chicken of the woods, and this will be 2 pounds of chicken of the woods that I've eaten.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
It's so good.
That was a lot of steps. It was pretty busy.
Oh, it's worth
I'm
it.
Like,
It's worth it. It's worth it.
But it's well worth it. We're going to cut away. The farm's been busy too.
Yes, it has.
We'll be right back and show you some more in a minute. we got our chores done.
We did.
I took my bi-weekly bath.
Did you?
Yep. And we're up here at the cabin. It's very nice.
It is nice out.
And you know what? It's time to start thinking about fall coming in. More cooking outside.
Right.
Can you dig it?
I can.
But you know what? We did that rabbit recipe. How would you describe the taste and the texture of that mushroom?
Chicken. It's really odd that it tasted like chicken. It was delicious.
The consistency was right there, wasn't it?
I
Even
didn't
the
expect
taste.
that. Yeah.
One of our favorite mushrooms, and we've never found that here. We had a hen of the woods on top of the hill one time from the neighbor. But wow, was that lucky.
That was nice.
Now, rabbits, domestic rabbits, have been domesticated for thousands of years. The Romans used to have little gardens where they could run around and they would have their protein with rabbit. Now, our buddy John Casper doesn't have a garden where rabbits run around, but he does raise them.
He does.
Let's hear just a little bit about what it takes to raise a domestic rabbit. Here we are at the Ghost Mountain Rabbitry with John. And your wife's off somewhere. She's doing taxes, isn't she?
Doing taxes.
Ooh, bless her heart. Now she has a big part of this.
Yes, she does.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since about 6th or 7th grade. I won't tell you how many years ago
So
it is.
about 72 years.
Yeah, I've probably only missed about 4 or 5 years in that whole time of not having rabbits. So
No kidding.
been raising them a long, long time.
Now, you raise these for meat.
Pets, if people want them or whatever. That's the breed rabbit we have, are all meat bred.
What are they? What brand?
These are New Zealand's, like a New Zealand red on the bottom and a white, broken New Zealand.
Why New Zealand?
Because they're the best meat rabbits. They grow the most efficiently, and they have the most sought after meat.
Here's what a lot of people would think is attractive, is this plate full of duty.
Yeah, all my trays, or all my cages are made with these trays so we can collect the droppings.
And again, like you said, it doesn't burn anything up. That's the one
Doesn't hurt a thing.
manure you can take right out and put them on. So let's talk about the whole process.
Okay.
First of all, you build your own cages, right?
I built my cages. You don't have to. There's a lot of places that you can purchase them. The main thing with a rabbit cage is to have a cage the size you need for whatever rabbit you got. I've got large rabbits, so we've got to have a generally large cage. Our cages are 30 by 24.
How often do they breed? Whenever you put them together.
Well, a rabbit will breed, you breed a rabbit, and in 30 days they're going to have babies. They're 30 to 35 days. And then 21 days after they have babies, I breed them back. And the reason I do that is because they stay the healthiest when they're breeding and when they're lactating and having babies. If you let them go barren for a period of time, then they'll get unhealthy. They get sick really easy, and they're really hard to breed back. Well, you're probably going to get 5 litters a year at an average of 8 per litter. That's 40 a year, 40 babies.
Wow.
So if you multiply that by 5, it's about 200.
So it's not a rumor about the rabbits being busy.
No, but there's a few things you need to take into consideration and take care to be successful.
And what would those be for the...
Well, you have, for one thing, a proper cage in a proper environment. You've got to keep them out of the weather. Now, rabbits can withstand cold. They have a little more trouble in the summertime when it's really hot. So in the summertime, I'll have fans that go in here to keep it moving. And that's the most important thing, keep that. And you want to have a cage that the droppings can fall through so they aren't sitting in their waste all day long. I made the cages where I can just take them out of their frame real simply.
Right.
And that way I don't have to try to clean them inside here.
So your dimensions again are...
My dimensions, this is, it's 30 inches in width and it's 24 inches wide this way. And then it's 18 inches high.
And you just crimp everything together
And
here?
I crimp everything together with little J-clips. Like I said, if you're just starting out, you're going to buy your cages.
Right.
It's a lot simpler and probably cheaper that way. But if you have several rabbits, it's a lot cheaper to build them yourself.
Tell us some secrets, some things that you've learned over the years that may save somebody a lot of trouble if they decide to go this route.
The key to rabbits is good feed. They have to have good food.
What do you feed them?
And I feed them an 18% rabbit pellet. And if you just have them as a pet, you can buy 16% then you're great. But if you're breeding them and showing them and things like that, you want 18%. That's the first thing. Good feed, plenty of water, fresh water all the time. We get those bottles, they stay clean. You know, some people have self-waterers and things, but you still have to check them every day. You know, you want a feeder that the feed goes into. I have mine on the outside of the cage for ease of feeding, and that it's got a grate in the bottom, like a screen, so that any trash or fines will go through that and it won't get in their lungs, and then you won't have problems with it.
Gotcha.
So that's key.
Let's talk about the health benefits of rabbit.
Yeah, if you look rabbits up on USDA's site or whatever, they say that rabbit meat is higher in protein and lower in cholesterol than any farm-raised meat.
Wow.
It's also the only meat that your body can 100% digest. Domestic rabbits are all white meat. You know, we process these rabbits when they're 8 weeks old. A New Zealand white, their rabbits at 8 weeks old are going to be 4 pounds.
Right.
And that's going to approximately, you know, be 2.5 pounds of meat.
Now, one time I was visiting with John and his brother, and I think they were over here helping us build the pig pen.
They were.
And he handed me a sandwich. I thought it was chicken salad sandwich. He said, "That's rabbit."
It was delicious.
It was delicious. So here's the recipe. It's on his website. It's absolutely delicious. Now, if you don't have rabbit, chicken will work. Or you can use mushrooms.
It could.
Chicken of the woods.
That's
It'd be
right.
just fine.
It would be good.
You know what, Mrs. Farmer? It's a nice, cool day. We may just sit up here and kick back and tell some
That
stories.
sounds fun.
Now, if you had to look up some of these recipes, where would you go?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
Then you'd hit a little red button that says subscribe.
Yes.
So anytime something new comes out, we'll let you know first. And if you wanted to join our Facebook page, which is growing rapidly, how would you do that?
I would hit like.
It's that simple. You know, we've been doing a lot of fishing.
We have. You have.
Well, I have, and you have.
I've been floating around.
You have been floating around and exercising in the
I
kayak.
have.
We've been having a lot of fun.
We have.
We might bring you a fish recipe very shortly.
I think you should.
But until then, Mrs. Farmer,
Yes.
a half hour is up.
I know it.
You know what that means?
I do know what it means.
We tell them it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and good eats.
We'll see you next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.